When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gane, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Manifest It Now. I'm here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gane.
Live in person.
Yay.
How fun is
I know,
this?
right?
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you who are listening to the podcast, this is the first time that we are doing it as a Facebook Live as well. So if you caught it early, awesome, because I know you guys listen like 2 and 3 and 5 times anyway. So good to see it live with us and then hear it here. And if you are listening on the podcast and you want to catch the lives, go make sure that you like the Manifest It Now show page so that you get updates about that.
Manifest It Now show page, not our group page or not our community. Manifest It Now show page.
The show page. We'll put it in the community, but the reason we're putting it on the show page is so that you can all share it. Because sometimes it's easier to just click the button on Facebook and share it with your best friend and say, you would love this.
So we're going to talk about today, as you guys can see, how do you know when LOA is working? How do you know when your manifesting is working for you? So that's going to be fun.
It's going to be so fun.
Yeah. Extra fun, guys.
Because we're together.
I know. It's the first time.
It's the first time.
I mean, it's the first time here. Cassie came to Florida, and she was like, oh my gosh, and you didn't tell me about your house. It's on the water. This is beautiful. You have the patio. This is everything you want. I'm like, yeah, I know, Cass.
I know. It's everything she's been scripting, and it's right there. And it happened very magically.
It's so awesome.
It was awesome. I love it.
What
it's so you.
What's it? So me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
What are you excited about?
What am I excited about? I'm excited. We had Money Manifested photo shoot last night and Feature Self Cocktails.
You guys didn't see that picture with Cass kissing the money? You got to go see it.
All right. So fun serving it up. And it was, it's always so much fun, but it's just fun because it's a great chance to look forward and look back and just get in touch with my clients' future selves even deeper, but also remember how far they've come.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
fun. Yeah, it's exciting.
Fun.
And of course, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. I was like, besides exciting to be here.
Right. Yeah. And what are you excited about?
I'm also excited about a client that I was just speaking with. I got off the phone, ran downstairs and told Cassie, I was like, guess what? This just manifested. So I was working with a woman, and when we first started together, she hated her job. And it was like, I hate going to work. And so it was a couple weeks and shifting things around, shifting the focus. And she just told me, and she got through a friend, right? Literally this job fell into her lap through a friend. And she's like, fine, I don't need a new job, so that's good. So going into this interview of a job offer, I think I might have mentioned it on the podcast once.
Maybe.
Going into it and with no expectation of the outcome or anything. And she was like, everything I asked for, they just accommodated. She's like, oh, well, I can't have this because of this reason or this limiting belief that I have. And then they just came back with this offer, and they came back with this offer. And she said, so I went in, and it wasn't even like an interview. It was like just an hour conversation. She's like, I wasn't attached. I walked out, and I thought they're going to offer me the job. She says, but there's no way they can meet my pay scale, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't even have to think about taking it yet or changing my life because it's not going to happen. Right. And then, so today, Cassie heard me kind of screaming from upstairs of excitement when she got the offer and owned that, hey, this is how much I need to make. They came back with 25% more. And I was like, what? Yeah. So that, I'm so excited. It's just so fun to see clients or anybody in life getting surprised by how good this is.
Right, what they created.
Yes.
I know.
This showed up. Can you believe this happened, Ginny? And I'm like, yes, this is how it works.
Right.
Yeah. You said something, do you remember when we were on the patio and you were saying, it's amazing, do you remember at that point I'm like, you need to highlight that?
Yeah. So when we're talking about the law of attraction working, it's the system is something that the system is designed, to help you enjoy the journey.
Yes.
Right? Like everything that we teach you guys and the way the system works and the way you get what you want is designed to help you enjoy the process of getting there. Yeah.
It's like there's this whole everything is rigged in your favor.
Yes.
And you just have to tune into that way, versus like fighting what is, or, when you're defining it this way, it can only be this way. But when you like let go of all that and stop trying to control so much, like Cass and I talk about, like the how, then you have this it's designed to support you.
Absolutely. So, is that like our segue into
yes,
our topic?
Okay. I just read another quote this morning, something about like when you follow your heart's desire, the universe can support you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is so relevant. I had a moment yesterday where like there's stacks of prop money on the table because now we do the photo shoot. Like it's not just, we don't use the same, like if two people manifest 100,000, we don't, like everybody has their own stack.
Their own 100,000.
They own 100,000 or their own 50,000. And there's like stacks of money on the table. And, in the restaurant, it's so fun to like get the attention and see other people's reaction when they see you doing that. But I just had this moment where the money got moved to like, we just moved it out of a shot or something. And I'm like holding all of this prop money and I'm like, this is like, you can create anything you want.
Yeah.
I talk about the law of attraction and I celebrate people. I talk about the law of attraction and I help people celebrate what they've manifested. Like, yes, it's all like when you do open to that's what reminded me of it. Yeah. Your heart's desire. Like, that's what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted, but I didn't know it's exactly what I wanted.
That's a whole topic in itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is like not knowing what, until you're experiencing it right in front of you. You're like, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted this.
Yes. And yeah. Oh, we should do a whole topic. We should do a whole topic.
I feel like my relationship is like that. Like until it was
totally.
Like in front of me, I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. I had no idea. I did, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to tell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, so when you open to your heart's desire, the universe can support you. That's you have to do that in order for the process to work. So the worst way I think to slow down LOA, and this is going to tail into our topic, is do not want what you want. It's to want, like most people where they get hung up, one of the ways I see is that they want the thing they think that's going to get them what they want instead of wanting what they want. Yeah.
I'm just going to let that sink in.
It's a good thing to let sink in, right? Like, want what you want. The universe will be most on your side and can deliver the most to you when you want what you want.
Yeah, and I think sometimes the first part of that is giving yourself permission to want what you want.
Yes.
It's come up with a few clients like lately in terms of the kind of nervousness to dream. The kind of like, I'm a little nervous to dream, like it doesn't feel good. I'm only supposed to do what feels good, and I can't think about the future. And as soon as you make that switch of like, but you're allowed to want what you want, then it's like, oh, well, okay then, this is what I want.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so once you want what you want, how do you know it's
coming?
Working?
I was thinking about this even just a few minutes ago, and my first initial response is, now I just know. Like, I know it's always happening.
Right?
I know it's always
that's
working.
happening. Yeah.
That's never a question for me because I have, so much experience, but also an understanding of how this vibrational universe works. Like, it is always happening. It's always unfolding. And the more you acknowledge that, the quicker it's going to happen. The quicker, the more evidence you're going to see fall into place.
Right. So I want to, it's always working.
But yes, I didn't start there.
Right. Right? Me either. But I, as you were saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, when I did the workshop last weekend, I had that same, I'm like, oh, this is what it is. I just need to see what it looks like inside. Yeah. Like I know this is all happening. So I just need to get comfortable with, what does that mean in my life? Who am I?
Cool.
What are the choices I have to make? What are the fun decisions? Yeah. What does that look like? Like, how much does that event cost? And like get comfortable with $100,000 event because that's like that's how much it's going to cost to do the event that's 5 years in the making.
That's in that vision.
That's inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does become where you're like, oh, okay, this is happening. And you're just sort of, you really can just quickly figure out, okay, I need to become this person. And still is a process, right?
Absolutely.
But you're like, okay, this is where I need to grow, and you can see it.
It kind of, when I was talking to somebody earlier, they were saying, like, they were sharing, hey, this thing happened and I noticed this and this has changed. And then it was like, and we've been working together for weeks. And then it was like, and last week I realized that, you know, it's okay that I'm feeling different. So that's great. That's enough. She's like, I know you talked about how, you know, you change your insides before you change your outsides. And she's like, and so I'm okay with just feeling my insides are changing because I know that's happening. And I'm like, hold up. Like, you told me a million ways that your outside is changing.
Right.
And so that is, I mean, it was like a switch, because that is one of the ways you know it's working. Well, those are two ways. So that you feeling different is enough. It's working.
Yeah.
And imagine if you honored that. Imagine if you said, if you notice yourself feeling great and you said, oh my God, it's working. I feel great. Bam.
Yes. And I will, the way you can trust that, I will give you guys this. That always happens first. And I think you read that, but it's true with my clients. Yeah. They always feel better. They feel more secure. They feel solid inside before the stuff shows up. They feel it. They feel better. They feel more peace. They feel more calm. They feel more joy. They feel more excited. Yes. And that's before the stuff comes up. And that's in probably every book you read.
I know. I'm like, that's in everything you talk about when you manifest. Feel it first. The thing is, it can't be, I feel great, where's my stuff?
Right. And I want to highlight what you just said. It's not about going and forcing that feeling.
Yes.
You can practice that feeling. You can find ways to activate that feeling. But it's not forcing the feeling so you can get this. Like,
yes.
It's the thing that is it's the shift. Right? It's the thing that's happening and you naturally feel before. It's not a forced, oh my God, I have to, because I think this happens a lot in LOA. I have to go feel happy.
Yeah.
If I want what I want, I have to go feel happy.
Yeah.
And it's not about going and forcing yourself to feel happy. It's about opening up, doing the work, and at the same time, finding ways to feel happier, because that's the beingness of the person who has whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it's not about forcing it.
I think that's such a key point, is that there's a difference, and sometimes we probably use these different ways at different times along our process, but you can go deliberately do something to feel a certain way, to activate something. Mm-hmm. Once you do that long enough or enough times, you're inspired to that feeling. It comes naturally.
Yeah.
You're like, you notice, I feel this way, and I didn't try to feel this way. Mm-hmm. And that's huge. That's another step, another evolution on the like, okay, this is great. This is perfect. I'm manifesting. It's happening. LOA is working for me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And if you want the brain explanation, it's because you practice that emotion and you activate that emotion, and you're literally changing the things in your brain, the neuroreceptors and the neurotransmitters, to be more for happy. So you seek out more. If the feeling is happy, you seek that out because there's neuroreceptors that want the neurotransmitters of being happy. Like your brain is literally then starts to seek that feeling that you've practiced because you've created the things in your brain to want to seek that.
Yeah. Yay, happy.
Yeah.
What was the other part of that? So there's that way.
To know it's working.
The feeling part of it. Feeling it first. Oh yeah. And then, so not right away, as soon as you're feeling it, then looking for, because it is so much of when we're manifesting is we're attached to seeing that outcome. And so that was one of the things that came up. It's like, well, this thing that I want hasn't happened yet. And so it's not working. And that's kind of like, if you make that tie, you really have to break that tie in your head of like only knowing it's working when you see that one thing, like it's generally a big thing, happen.
Right.
And so, her thing was like, well, I'm still going to the same job. And I'm like, hello? Like, all of these things are falling into place. We don't want it to all happen at once. Mm-hmm. We want the journey. We want the unfolding. And so I think that's a key, is like detaching from by defining it's only working once you see the big thing happen, like, forget about that. That's not true.
That is not true. And we're going to help you break that by breaking down some more specifics on how you know it's working.
Yeah.
So that is the key, is to break. It's only working when I get the new car, the new house, the new job, the $1 million. That's not when it, like, that's not defines whether it's working or not. It's too far out. Like, it's, you have to see what's shifting and changing, so you can see more of what you want along the way. And like coming back to that, the thing we said in the beginning, you know, the system is designed to help you enjoy the process. And as we tell you how to know it's working, this is also what makes the process more enjoyable. It's what helps you enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that it's best to, in terms of like, okay, well, how do I know it's working, for someone to stop and say, look, stop and look at their life. Well, what is working for me now? Like, look at, like, what evidence can I see right now in my life?
Oh, that like what I wanted, like, you mean
Externally.
evidence, like, right? Yeah.
Always. Yeah, in the moment.
In the moment. Like, but you mean, I think what you mean is like, you're asking like specifically, like, take a look at your whole life versus when pieces of evidence come up.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, look and see what's already true, which is, if you look at that most often, you have way more than you think. Like, so many people think, like, again, that big thing is like this huge thing, and I don't have any of it. Like, no, you have so much of it. You just aren't seeing it yet. You haven't tuned into it yet.
Yeah. I think it's such a completely different, or not think, it is such a completely different vibration when you're trying to get there, or you're trying to see if it's working, versus just noticing what is working already. And so, like, think of the different vibrations of that. Trying to make this happen, it tunes back into the same foundational stuff that we talk about.
And you're inherently saying it's not happening.
Exactly. If you're in that place of trying to find out or search or seek that it's working, how do I know it's working? Is like even saying it's not working in a way.
Right. It is, because that's, and then because when you're asking that question, how do I know it's working? Usually you're seeing all the reasons that it's not working, or you think it's not working. So if you make that shift up front, like, this is working, and now I'm going to go look for everything that confirms that. Not in a way that's like, so it can prove it, but I'm just going to go on all in on the path. I'm going to enjoy the journey, and doing all these things does make the journey more fun.
Yeah.
All right. So you make that shift, and then what? Look at your life and see what's already true.
So I'm just going to think back to when I was building the business, and because that came up a lot. Well, how do I know I'm doing enough or doing what's right? How do I know that it's working? My vibration is attracting what I really want. And ultimately it comes down to when I'm in those inspired places. I knew it was working. And that makes total sense, because when you're in that place of inspiration, or you're in alignment, how I call it is, you don't have that question. You're like, oh, I feel great, and I know that's all that matters. That's what's most important. So it's working. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
Okay.
And I think it might be a little, like, everybody's like, oh, okay, cool.
I mean, it's the same answer, just...
It is,
yeah.
but there's ways to support you getting to that place, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. When you're in the thing, you know it's working. One of the things that you can do is you can take every opportunity to practice. So right after I left my job, it was this weirdest thing. My site back then, like, got spammed, but it was like spam signups to an opt-in. And I knew that they weren't real, but I would get like 20 or 30 a day.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, I was like, that's awesome. And like, I could see, but you know what? I was like, this is the universe giving me a gift.
Yeah.
And I responded to everyone. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're on my list. Like, thanks for being here. And I just stepped into that place of being and saying, yeah, this is happening. Like, and this is the opportunity. This is evidence. And so that's huge evidence. Most people are like, well, it's spam. Like, somebody's just, no, but like, somebody found the form.
Yeah.
Like, that is, you know, like, That's evidence.
Yes.
And then taking it further is just practicing.
I love that. So what is like basically you decide do you think you need to decide it's working?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
So there we go. Decide it's working first.
Decide it's working.
And then you start to choose your perspectives of what's coming in. And then that's your evidence. That's how you're defining it, gives it its power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then you can celebrate you can look at your life and you can see what's already true, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. You can celebrate every new piece of evidence, which anything really can be evidence.
I know, guys. It's so cute. Anything can be evidence.
Anything.
You can
right?
have fun with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I saw someone in a yellow shirt and my new car, like my dream car when I'm in my future life is yellow. Like, it can be as simple as that. And if you've decided that everything that it's working and you're just looking for all the things to yep. First of all, that's where you're putting your energy and focus. So it's going to keep it out of any other questions. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can have so much fun with it. The most fun evidence, I think, is the like random, where only the person, like we'll do this. I can't think of an example right now, but it's like, oh my gosh, this just happened. And like, it's total evidence, but only we know that because it's just like a little piece, but we've gotten so good at celebrating it that it's awesome.
I get some really strange texts from Cassie, guys, about like, this happened, it's evidence. I'm like, okay, awesome. I do remember one when I was, I remember when Lisa and I were starting, and I was like, for some reason, Cass, I don't want to call her my girlfriend. I feel like it's something more, Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I know I want to call her my wife. Like, it just,
right.
And I didn't feel like totally pronouncing that yet. And then you sent me a text. You're like, oh my God, I just saw on a TV show that this guy, do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a guy saying, he said, he was proposing to his girlfriend, and he said, like, I didn't want to call you my girlfriend, I wanted to call you my wife.
Yes.
And I was like, what?
I know, right? Yeah.
You can get so excited about that.
You can,
mm-hmm.
right?
Pink cars.
Yeah, pink car, like
purple Jeeps.
Right? I'm getting excited about purple Jeeps, blue Jeeps.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much evidence. And so I like to, this is actually an assignment that I give my clients. I teach them how to do it Manifest 10K, and then it's their own assignment once they have their future self. Like, create a pre-evidence list. Like, what are you going to count as evidence when it shows up in your world?
That's huge.
Right? So if you want a relationship, is it a picture of a couple on the beach? Mm-hmm. And then when that shows up, you're like, check. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
It could be like a couple holding hands in a restaurant I'm on the relationship thing, but if that's what you're attracting, like a couple holding a relationship, like make it your intention. Like, okay, when I see a couple on a date, like make a whole list of all these things that comes with what you're manifesting, and go for it. Like I can give an example too. If it's like a new car, right? You can, the color you want. Mm-hmm. It could be like shiny new tires, like a car that looks like it's just washed, right? Because when you drive it off the lot, that's how it looks.
Yep.
It could be pictures of people next to that car. It could be seeing that car. Like there's so many, just make it easy on yourself and make the list beforehand so you know what you're looking for.
I think that's super powerful tool, because one of the places you'll get to is asking that question, well, how do I know it's working? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, how do you think you know it? What evidence showing up would make you believe it's working?
Right.
And then so the universe, when you define that, the universe can give you those things. And then it's even more exciting because you're like, I literally asked for it. You didn't even ask for it. You just like put it out there. Mm-hmm. And then you're seeing it.
Then it's there.
There.
Yep.
And
awesome.
And almost I want to say like the small stuff is the big stuff.
It is.
Like it doesn't, little things like parking spots or someone paying for your groceries or a dinner or a $2 bill on the ground it's the same energy, those little things, or someone complimenting you. Like for people manifesting love in relationships and they have their friends starting to like adore them, or their family sending them gifts out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's evidence. That's a huge response to who you're being and what you're stepping into. And so it's the same energy that you attract those things, that you're going to attract the big thing that you want. It's just bigger. That's it. Same energy though.
Right. It's the same thing. It's just like stepping in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is evidence huge? How else do you know when it's working?
I feel there's a sense of peace. Yeah. So when I'm not questioning, when I'm not jumping into the how obsessively, I know it's working because there's something unfolding that is like bigger than me. Yeah. And when, I mean, this can be classified under evidence, but when people start talking about it, I always think when I see what I want in people, other people around me, I was like, great, that's happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
What about you?
Awareness. Like when you become aware, like, oh, that's my thought. Oh, I think that's possible. Both aware of what isn't true when you have whatever you want and you're manifesting, but also like, oh, I had a thought that is like that.
A new thought?
Yeah.
When you get a new thought, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super fun.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that we know it's working?
Unexpected things.
Oh, yeah. Say more.
Well, when anything, I feel totally, I'm like a big believer, and when it's unexpected, and when it pops in and you're not asking for it, that's always, it's working. Because you're open to receive something you weren't like thinking about. So you're in alignment with something that's like, okay, I'm coming in. And so new thoughts, if you're like, I had this new thought about this, it's like definitely a shift that you're making a shift. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just, I think, whether you call them synchronicities or signs, like it's all evidence, right?
Yeah.
So even if it has nothing to do with anything, if you think about a friend and then that friend calls 2 days later, even if you're manifesting a new house, like that's still it, because that's evidence of how powerful your thoughts are. It's evidence of how powerful a creator you are.
Yes.
And I think that is one of the biggest things is that if you look at this as evidence I'm a powerful creator versus evidence am I getting what I want?
Yes.
Right? Is it working to get me what I want, or is it working in the fact that I'm becoming a powerful creator?
I am a powerful creator. If you're in that moment of like experiencing a synchronicity or something like that, it's happening now.
And you can own that.
Yes. And you're in the beingness. I love that point though too, because saying I'm a creator now, is in the present moment, doesn't have to do with getting somewhere in the future, and you're taking the attention away from the outcome. And so the more you can be detached from getting the thing and being this person now, being the creator now, being the allower now, that is you are more in your power in that, with that perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so anything you want to sum up with?
Make the decision that it's working. Know that the system is designed so that you can have the most fun along the way.
And support you, yeah.
Yeah, and support you. Look for the evidence. Go ahead.
Feeling is an evidence.
Yes, feeling how you feel. Both like feeling at peace or feeling certainty, all of those things. Notice the awareness, because that is huge. Those are huge shifts. And have fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay! Have an amazing week.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.
Go be awesome! Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.